If I'm honest, I just wanna see this world fucking fly!
So today is going to be an arm workout, so we're going to train our biceps, our triceps and our forearms. We're going to do multiple exercises for each because you don't just want to hit them from one angle, because obviously even each one of those muscle groups has different muscles within them. So your triceps got multiple muscles in there, multiple heads you want to hit basically. Same with the bicep, same with your forearm. So you don't want to do just one exercise for each because it's going to look kind of out of proportion when you build that muscle up a bit. So anyway, we've got some just a set of dumbbells today. You can also do weighted exercise, which I'm going to show you as well, but we're going to start for the bicep, which is just going to be your average curls. Okay, so what you want to do with your curls is, obviously we all know the motion of just lifting the bar up, but most people do it with the wrist like this, so the wrist is facing the shoulder like a flat slap. What you want to do is because that can still put a lot of weight on your forearm to stop the weight from falling down. What you want to do is bend your wrist back. It takes the forearm out of the exercise, so it focuses more on your bicep. So if the weight's too light, that's the way to add a bit more stress to your bicep by reducing the stress that's on your forearms. So a typical curl would look like this. But if you do it with the flat palm, so it's parallel to the sky, it's pretty much the same. You can't really see the difference, but you can feel the difference. So you want to go up as fast as you want, go down quite slowly. That's how you want to do those. And basically, it depends what kind of training you're going for. If you're trying to get size, then you're going to want to be looking at 4 sets between 8 and 12 reps for every exercise for muscle building. If you're looking for, that's hypertrophy. So hypertrophy training is 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps. Endurance training, which is to do less weight but more reps. So you want to do 12 plus reps with a lower weight. And then if you're doing strength training, that's 1 to 5 reps with weight that you're just obviously struggling with, like heavier than the other two. How to find out those weights? You just got to pick up the bar and lift it, and then see, like, note down what weight you get, and then figure out. There's like 1 rep max calculators online, but I wouldn't waste your time on them. I just go in the gym, get the feel of the weight, decide for yourself what you can and can't do. Try it. If you can't do it, then you've not done it. But obviously, only do that on a machine. Don't do that on like don't test your 1 rep max on a squat with a barbell, because if that goes wrong, then that's gone very wrong, isn't it, really? But on a machine you're safe to do that, so like on a lat pull down or something stupid, or even weighted pull-ups or whatever, stuff like that. But just watch what you're doing when you're doing your 1 rep maxes, because they can be dangerous if you're trying them on your own. Alright, now you've got the blood pumping into your biceps. We're going to do straight into another bicep exercise, and we're going to do a weighted one, so that's going to be chin-ups. The difference to pull-ups is the grip. So instead of doing this grip, you're doing this grip, so it's reversed, and that obviously just trained your biceps a lot more. Your back's still in there, but obviously not as much. That looks like, and you want to keep your grip not wide, you want to keep it just like shoulder width apart. Like this.
Yeah. I want everything that is a hand on tail ride. I went through the west and yet I'm still here satisfied. Step into my mind, you're less 2 seconds and you're gone. Demons in my bed, I feel the worst on my side. Sing along if you feel it, hey. Feel it up and sip it, hey. I still got my vision, hey. Fuck it up, I'm missing, yeah. This is the sickest game. Brand new cold division, hey. Twisted and efficient, hey. Screaming hell's a tripping pie. I can be giving advice, hey. What are your hatred inside? Yeah, lose yourself when you get high. Ooh, I do that shit all the time.
So once I've done my biceps, I usually superset those exercises. So you'll do your curls, and then you'll finish your first set, and you'll obviously need time to get to the pull-up bar, but that is the rest. So you go straight to the pull-up bar, do your sets to failure on pull-ups. So just do as many as you can, because it's body weight, and then you have like a minute, and then you go back to do the same. So you do all your sets together, which is why it's called a superset. You're doing 2 exercises together. You don't really do them for the same muscle, but I do, because I just feel like it gets me a burn a lot easier, because personally I don't get the burn, the feel in your muscle, like the burn that you get, I don't get that easy. It takes me a while to get there, so I do supersets to get that faster, because, well, that's just what makes me enjoy training, so that's how I get that. But anyways, once I've done those exercises, I'll move on to triceps, and for the first exercise I hate this exercise because it's just hard. But it's called skis or tricep kickbacks. But what you do is, you don't want to go exactly parallel, but like lean up a little bit, and then bring your arm parallel to your back, but not your back parallel to the floor. Like have a little bit of an angle, and then bring your arms in line, and then just kick them back. But you don't bring them all the way here because then your triceps resting. You're working your bicep again. You just want to bring it about 90 degrees. That's where your tricep stops. So that looks something like this. Personally, it's a really good exercise for mass, but I hate that exercise. It's hard. But do that right, that will get you places. So that's the first tricep exercise that I do. Right, so once I've done my kickbacks, what I do is I move on to the dips, which is the weighted version for your triceps, like the alternate to the chin-ups for your biceps. So what you want to do for these is lock in, try and get as close as you can, and then the thing when you go down is if you're leaning too far forward, so if you're leaning into your dip, so if I was to lean more towards you, then it works your lower chest. So you want to try and stay as straight as you can to work your tricep. So I'm going to show it you wrong first, so because I didn't realise this until I started getting muscle aches when I was a bit younger, but if I was doing it wrong, I'd be leaning like there. You can see it working the chest already. You can see that my body is moving in front of my arms, and you don't want that to happen. You want to try and stay like this, not like this. So I'll do it right for you, or as well as I can anyway. Then I'll do it from facing the other way so it's a bit clearer as well. So again, I'm just going to do the same again. I'm going to do it wrong before I do it right. So I was doing it wrong. And then if I was doing it right, or somewhat right, it should look something like this. So I do biceps first, then there's no specific order, it's just personal, but I do my biceps, I do my superset for that, then I do my triceps, and do my superset for that, and then because triceps are 2/3 of your upper arm, I train them a little bit more than my biceps because I just think that makes sense. So what I do is I do 2 different forearm exercises in one, and then superset that with another tricep exercise. So I'll show you what that looks like now. Alright, so when you're working your forearms, there's 2 versions of the same movement, and the only thing you're changing is your wrist pretty much, but the difference is massive. So first you've got hammer curls, which is like this, like you're just hitting something with a hammer pretty much. You just curl like that. That does work your forearm, but that also has a bit of engagement in your bicep, which it's not bad. It does make your bicep look wider. Like a curl gives you the peak, but forearm exercise gives it a bit of width, which a lot of people like to have. But so I'll show you that first, the hammer curls. And then what you want to do after that is I move into my tricep exercise, which I'm just going to show you straight away. But this is weird, this one. So what you want to do is, these weights are probably a bit too heavy for me to do, but what you can do is you can have your elbow straight, so it's going this, so it's facing straight, and your elbow goes straight behind you, which is ideally how you're supposed to get it. But for me, these weights are a bit too heavy for the exercise, so I had to like bend my elbow out that way a bit and do it like this. But if that's still too hard, which with these weights for me it still is at the moment, most people use a single dumbbell anyway just because it's so much easier to manage, but it's called a standing French press. and you just do that. So this is how you ideally want it, with your elbows tucked in, pointing straight forwards. But if it's too heavy, and it's not really wrong, it's just not ideal, but you can bend your elbows out. It does give you a bit of, it gives your shoulders a lot more involvement in there, which is obviously, if you're trying to isolate your triceps, then it's not ideal, but if you need it for the weight that you're using, because obviously in lockdown we can't all just change weight, you've got to deal with what you've got. So yeah, what I do with that one is I do 2 sets of hammer curls mixed with a set of triceps, and then instead of doing 4 sets of hammer curls, I do 2 sets of pronator curls, which looks like, instead of doing it with your wrist like that, you do it with your wrist facing the other way, so it's pronator grip, like that. So, that's like this. This is going to be too hard. So what I do is that's pretty much my arm day. Obviously I use machines as well, because my favourite exercise, to be fair, is the tricep push down. But obviously we don't have that equipment at home, so that's what I do. So what I start with is curls, 4 sets to 8 to 12, supersets with 4 sets of chin-ups, which is just sets to failure. And then I move in to my tricep exercises, where I do kickbacks or skis, whichever one you want to call it, mixed in with dips. Obviously trying to stay vertical, not forwards, doing your chest. And then I do my forearms mixed with my triceps again, because triceps are bigger than biceps. They are on everybody, that's just how the body is, the anatomy of the body. And for those I'll do 2 sets hammer curls mixed with 2 sets of French presses, and then 2 sets of pronator curls, again mixed with French presses. So that's my current arm day in lockdown, but in the gym I would include a little bit more variety in there, which I'll show you when we get the gyms back. And then that's pretty much what I do for my arm day. So if you wanted more of my personal training routines in lockdown, let me know, and I'll definitely get those done as soon as I can. I'll probably do some like follow-along HIIT workouts, high intensity interval training for fat loss and things. It just depends what you guys want, so just let me know. Cheers.
I just wanna see this world fucking fly.